Here. We'll go to consent agenda. The following items are to be considered routine by the Reno Airport Authority and will be acted with one motion. Should the discussion be desired, any item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Approval of the minutes of the August 13th, 2019 regular meeting of the Reno Airport Authority.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Start with Ryder again.
Yes. Trustee White?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn?
Yes.
Trustee Cronister? Chairman Robinson?
Yes. We'll move on to discussion items. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to award project number I-26 T Hangar Complex construction to allow chairman and mayor to sign all documents associated thereto.
Councilman Robinson, city manager, we had a meeting today with the engineer. We need to kind of do some more research. I think the engineer had wrote a letter of recommendation for this, but under some consideration, he wanted to do some more research and wanted to kind of get together on exactly how they wanted to do that. So we'd like to, I'd like to table this till we get all the information back from our engineer to make sure everything's in order and what direction the council needs to go better off. Don't you think, Mr. Frazier?
I agree.
And I think if we can, I'd like to make a motion to table this until either a next special meeting or till the engineer gets back with us or the next regular meeting. I'd like to make a motion.
Is there a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Got a second? Start with Councilman Ryder.
Yes. Trustee White?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Trustee Cronister? Chairman Robinson?
Yes. I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Call the El Reno Recreational Authority regular meeting to order. Roll call will start with Ms. Wright.
Here. Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee White?
Yes.
Trustee Cronister? Chairman Ballhorn?
Yes. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted in one motion. Should discussion or be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of the August 13th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno Recreational Authority.
Motion approved.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. We'll start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes. Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee White?
Yeah.
Trustee Cronister? Chairman Ballhorn?
Yes. Discussion items. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to purchase a new infield groomer to replace existing softball field groomer. Got any ideas on that?
Yeah, I think Mr. Frazier, we met with the Little League football or softball field. All right, go ahead, Mr. Frazier.
We met with the Little League softball fields, and through a partnership between the city and the softball association with softball fields, we, as owners of the property, have assisted or chosen to assist the softball league by providing maintenance equipment to maintain those grounds. So it's a agreed upon arrangement between the two entities, and the city is justified in making that purchase.
I have a question. Where was mentioned about maybe we don't go with that zero turn, that was a due to rental program. Is there a maintenance on this new equipment?
The maintenance, as to my knowledge, is not included, but I'll have to confirm that with Jeff Culver. He is the individual that looked at both quotes. However, this is a quote that he has recommended based on the course that we received.
Thank you.
But I can answer that. I think basically, yes, I think you're right. What we're trying to do is, matter of fact, we just left, and I threw out the first pitch, and it was terrible. With the new softball field, and, but the old softball field, what our idea was, Mr. Frazier, myself, and with Mr. Cover met with the Little League softball group, and they're gonna take over Joe Riley and all those fields over there. So we're trying to make the transition out where Little League now, kinda like you all did, Timmy, we can kinda move everything together to where they can do that. Just like we did with the football and the baseball, we buy some of the equipment, but then yet our guys aren't out there mowing. So the reason why Mr. Kova is referring to the zero turn, which is a couple of $1,000 higher, $600 higher than the other one, is because basically it's easier to handle a zero turn and they can get it done better. Here, there's a $683 difference basically.
Correct.
So What we're trying to do is, we make these deals, we started this, about 10 years ago. I think Kenny was president, he was not now, but, with these different entities, whether it be baseball, softball, whatever else. If we can help provide some of the equipment, and we can do some of that, some of the equipment we get is some of our older equipment that we've had, that we pass down to them, or that we've had for a year or so, and we buy new equipment, then if they maintain it, then we don't get into the situation. When I first got on the council, we were trying to, the dog was wagging, the tail was wagging the dog. We're trying to get caught up for their needs, and we didn't know what they needed. So it's better for us to provide them the tools and then do the work. And in that way, it works out a lot better. And it's been a good partnership for all the entities. And Mr. Rivera and myself, and a couple of us, along with Timmy when he was on there, the Hills, Cumba, we worked through all those processes, and they told us the needs. So over the last couple of years, we've had pretty good partnerships with them to provide that services. So if that answers in a long story what we're doing, that's why we go by kind of their recommendation what they want to. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and recommend that we accept the Toro infield 2040 mower at the price of $12,683.
Make a motion.
Yes, my motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll start with.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. It's now 5:37. I now call the El Reno Hospital Authority regular meeting, Tuesday, September the 10th, to order. We'll start off with roll call vote, starting with trustee Cronister, now that he showed up.
Here.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Trustee Ryder. Chairman White.
Yes. We will consent agenda. The following items will be considered routine by the city of El Reno Hospital Authority to be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of the August 13th, 2019 regular meeting of the City of El Reno Hospital Authority. Number two, approval of claims requiring trustee authorizations for the period beginning August the 1st, 2019 and ending August 31st, 2019.
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion by trustee Ballhorn. Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Cronister.
I'll abstain.
Turn your phones off, Bonnie.
Yes. Trustee Ballhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson. Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman White.
Yes. Did you get Bonnie's yes too? All right, we'll move on. Motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Hey, we're adjourned. All right. It's now 5:38 and now call it El Reno Municipal Authority regular meeting of Tuesday, September the 10th, 2019 order. Roll call start with Vice Trustee Cronister.
Here.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder. Chairman White.
Yes. We'll move on into the consent agenda. The following items will be considered routine by the El Reno Municipal Authority, being acted with one motion. Should discussion be desired of that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Approval of minutes of the August 13th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Number two, approval of claims trustee authorization for the period beginning August 1st, 2019, ending August 31st, 2019. Motion for approval by Ballhorn, second by Robinson. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Chairman Cronister.
Abstain.
Chairman White.
Yes. Motion carries 4-1, one abstention. Move on to discussion items. E, discussion, consideration, possible action to award project number G 03 library renovations, new windows and doors for the El Reno Carnegie Library. We received bids. We're pretty excited about this. You'll see further on our agenda, we received a $40,000 grant from the Ashbrook Foundation, which has been just such a blessing to the community of El Reno, and they're gonna give us $40,000 towards the new windows. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to go over a sneak peek, Mr. Frazier, Mr. Sandage, you have to go over and look at that library, don't you? It's unbelievable. It's coming together great. I know we had some support with council, some not, but we got through it all. you're not gonna believe how beautiful this thing's gonna turn out. It's unbelievable how nice and how classy we've done. And I know we made, the ones who voted for made the right decision. It's a good thing to do. You've gotta go see it. It's unbelievable, and the way they're doing it. This is just the cream of the crop. It adds the windows to the situation with the doors, Matt. And that'll kind of finish the whole project off at this point in time. So the bids came in at $68,000 with Great Plains Glass and Mirror, and the time frame is about 60 days to do that. We're gonna go ahead and start the process of what we're doing right now, Mr. Frazier, Mr. Singe, to finish that up. We're on schedule, maybe a couple weeks delay because of some of the different shipping stuff, but not too far off. And you'll see further on in the agenda where we're gonna have alcohol at the library, because we're gonna have champagne when we get done with this thing. So, and you're laughing, but it's on the agenda, so we'll talk about that later. So I make a motion that we approve.
Question.
Yes,
So these are all like, just picture windows, basically non-operators, like they're just one piece, one unit, single units?
one single unit, operation, no operation windows, just like we have right now. More double pane secure, you know, they're more modern. These up there, you go up there right now and put your hand up there, you can feel the wind blowing through.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they're 1960s. These are, new material, you know, a plastic, hard material, yeah, but it's
It's aluminum, painted aluminum.
it's a painted aluminum material,
Yep.
is what it is. And,
And they have like the low E and argon and all that.
it
kind of
does,
stuff.
argon, low E on the deal. And then also on the bottom shelving, we have marble that's been bid in there too. We have basically tile, they had tile, you know, probably 1970s tile, brick tile that's in there, that's all coming out. And then it'll all be marble, to match what we have upstairs. It's gonna be beautiful. And, it'll help utilize those windows and those lighting that we just had dirty drapes. And we had those, bookshelves, you know, that weren't old. Some of them, 2 or 3 of them were, but most of them were, metal and everything else, so
It's
it'd be nice.
all our egress requirements are obviously met and all that stuff.
We are, as a matter of fact, we've been working with that, the electrician's been over there, so everything's all on standard and everything's on cue. Don't forget, JT, we did the new handicap accessible ramp, we did it last year. We did the elevator ramp, so, you know, you have the new door frame, you come in, from the back door, so everything's kind of, everything's up to code. So we're excited. I make the motion, we, give the award, to Great Plains Glass and Mirror for $68,000.
Second.
We got a motion, second, roll call, we'll start with Cronister.
Yes.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman White.
Oh, yeah. All right. Move on to, executive session. Consider it to be executive session pursuant to Oklahoma State Statutes Title 25, Section 307B1, discuss performance and review compensation for city manager, Mr. Jeremy Frazier, and reconvene an open session and take appropriate action. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
I got a motion.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call vote start with Cronister.
Yes.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Trustee Robinson. Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman White.
Yes. If everybody need a motion to come back into executive session.
So moved.
Okay. A motion by Cronister, second by Ballhorn. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Here.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Chairman Cronster.
Yep.
Chairman White.
Yes. All right. I make a motion, we take no action. Executive session.
Second.
Have a motion, no action, executive session. I got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Chairman Cronster.
Yes.
Chairman White.
Yes. All right, we'll move on.
Motion for adjournment?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Move on, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion by Ballhorn and second by Robinson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, now we'll get this party started. It's now 6:21, and I call the El Reno City Council regular meeting Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Roll call vote start with Vice Mayor Cronister.
Here.
Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. All right, Sam, would you please lead us in the word of the Lord? Can't talk.
Well, you said it was a party.
Well, not yet, but we're gonna get started.
Oh, all right. Father,
We just come to you in the name of Jesus. We are grateful for this council. We thank you and we ask you to continue filling them with the knowledge of your will for this city and area, with all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that this area in Canadian County will grow. It'll be a blessing to the community, and the community will be a blessing to it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sam. Join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Did Ken, is Greg here? Well, you know, what's so funny is when everybody else retires, they come up here, but when a police officer or a fireman retires, they never show up. They're done. They're finished.
They want to get away from us, too.
Don't blame them for that. Do you, Mr. Frazier, send them out the door. All right, we'll go on to D. New business deletion attention agenda time. Are there any? If not, we'll go on to consent agenda. The following item be considered routine by the El Reno City Council will be acted in one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item, that item be removed from the consent agenda, considered separately. Number one, the manager recommends one motion we approve approval of minutes, August 13th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno City Council. Number two, acknowledgement of an accepted grant from the Mary Kay Ashbrook Foundation of the City of El Reno Carnegie Library restoration and repairs in the amount of $40,000. Number three, approval of claims requiring council authorization for the period beginning August the 1st, 2019 and ending August 31st, 2019.
Make a motion, we pull item 1, consider it separately.
I have a motion to pull item 1. Do I have a motion approval of 2 and 3? I got a motion to consider 2 and 3. Got a second by motion by Robinson, second by Cronister. Roll call start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballham?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Randall? Yes. Mayor White?
Yes. Move on to number 1.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion is second. Motion by Ballhorn, second by Mayor White. We'll go ahead and go roll call with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballham?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Abstain due to lack of attendance.
Yes, motion carries 4-1, 1 abstention. We'll move on to F, audience participation. Anyone having business, an item of business to present to the city council that does not appear on the agenda, please come to the podium at the time and state your name. You're requested to limit your presentation to 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to the city of El Reno business. Yes, come on up, state your name
Colin Forsey,
and your address.
108 South Bickford. I just wanted to come before the council and just say that the executive meeting you just had, I just wanted to let you know on behalf of Bonnie and I, we have a business downtown, on behalf of the businesses, what a delight it has been to work with Jeremy Fraser and hopefully continue to work with his vision and the conversations we've had. It's very encouraging, and I just wanted to let the City Council know on behalf of our business anyway, and I'm sure businesses around. So
Correct.
just wanted to come and support it. Okay. 3
Any
minutes
other
on
comments?
this.
I seconded it.
Okay.
I third it.
Okay, good.
All those in favour?
Good, all right. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to F, audience participation. Oh, I'm sorry, G. 4, discussion, consideration, possible action, ordinance number 9199, a request by James Murphy to reclassify a zoning district from single-family R1 to commercial office CO on a tract of approximately .65 acres located on the southwest corner of Golf Course Drive and South Country Club Road within the southeast quarter, southeast fourth of section 7, township 12, north range 7, west Indian Meridian in Canadian County, Oklahoma. I did not have to have the public hearing because we had the public hearing before, and so now we're at the discussion item. During the public hearing we had last time, I was charged to meet with Mr. Mike Ogilvie, which was represented by the homeowners and some other homeowners, and then also with Mr. Murphy, who was the property owner. We met and had lunch, but we talked about things. We didn't have lunch at Hourglass, but we had lunch, and what we were discussing is basically, what we need to do to propose it. Here's what we come up with. The neighbors are upset with the current building that they have there now, about how it's being kept up. We suggested instead, Mr. Murphy wanted to develop that property and office to kind of follow in line with another wonderful group that developed that to the
north, real good group. And, kind of make that line and make that, clean that up, and make that look nice. So, we understood that, but they were concerned about how it was gonna lay out, what it was gonna do. So Mr. Murphy came back with a better plan and a drawing, Mr. Ogilvy, of how he would utilize the house, that's a rent house now, and utilize that as an office space. During the conversation, our concern was, you know, we don't mind the house being designed, we like the plans, basically we're just gonna use the same structure he had, add on a couple of parking spots up front to the north of the driveway and to the south of the driveway in order to get him the requirements he'd need for the housing. What we came up with is that really we would like for him, the neighbors, we being the neighbors, would like for him to tear down that house, yeah, that building, and then incorporate that in some parking area all the way up to the house, and basically not have an area where we have parking in the back, where we basically use that building. In order to do that, what we'd like to do is to approve the zoning change. Mr. Murphy has a contract right now with the tenants that live there. He has a 1-year contract. That runs out in about 9 months. What I'd like for Mr. Murphy, before we give him any, you know, zoning or anything else approval, to bring that paper back up to, the contract back up to the City Hall, Mr. Frazier and everybody else, and look at that. And when that expires, that 1-year expiration, Mr. Murphy agreed that he would basically start the process of not renting that out, but converting it over to an office space. After he does that, he's not gonna have the parking, so we're not gonna have the parking in the back, but we'd like to allow him, Dustin, to have the time of 4 months to tear down the other building after he moves in the new building remodel, and then make that whole area a parking area where it is all the way to the property. And he's gonna bring plans up to justify that. That would satisfy Mr. Murphy, that would satisfy the homeowners, and once again, I worked my tail off trying to make that thing happen.
You bought lunch.
I bought lunch too, I bought lunch, not at our guys.
So will the parking be coming off the north side then?
The parking would be coming off, basically what you see right now where he has the parking right now, he would extend that out all the way to the
house.
To the house.
Right.
And then he would extend another drive off to where the current driveway is now. Right, Mike?
Correct, that would give him parking room if he demolishes the existing office.
And what we're trying to do with this deal is to pressure him to demolish that building. And what this does is, if you remember correctly, JT, this brings this zoning up to where it needs to be.
Where it should be.
Right now, that's where the problem is. He's had this as an office, we've allowed that to happen for this many years, we've kind of grandfathered in. We have to correct this action, but this helps protect the neighborhood under the CO zoning. And that, I think that was important to the neighbors, and that's why I wanted to kind of pressure this deal, make it kind of work the way it was. Does that make sense? Mike, am I right on track?
I think you're on track and said everything that we agreed to at lunch, as long as Mr. Murphy follows through.
We're gonna agree upon zoning based on this deal, and then we don't normally like doing that, but we have to based on this because I think it's important that we correct a correction that we had in the past, and it has to have timeframes. So, saying that, I make a motion that we grant Mr. Murphy the zoning that he needs on the condition that he brings to city staff on the zoning issue, the plans for the building for approval, with the stipulation he also brings the lease agreement he has currently, and to follow that deal out. And basically, after that process, after his remodel process, which it can take whatever he, does on the remodel, he can't re-rent it to anybody else. Then he has 4 months to tear down that building and make a parking lot.
Second.
I've got a motion, second, roll call vote, start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yeah.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder? Abstain. Mayor White?
Yes. Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Mike. 5, to conduct a public hearing, consideration request by Caitlin Mullinger for a conditional use permit for a manufactured home within agriculture A1 zoning district on a property within the Northwest 4th, Section 6, Township 12, North Range 6, west of the Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider the public hearing open. All right, Dustin, this area right here is CUP. It's on 138 acres. Right on the other side of the road is outside of city limits.
That's correct.
Ms. Bollinger, you have everything together, you've gone through all the steps, you've contacted Solitaire, who's done all that deal, and you've gone through that process. You've gone through the process of planning commission, you went to planning commission, and they passed it, is that correct? With the condition of, they wanted some floodplain elevation certificate, but we met with Ms. Bollinger in understanding she's already in the floodplain, she has to require that at a point in time. And as long as she has that, I feel comfortable with that based on where she's at because of the elevation. And she has to require that, so that's kind of where we're at. All right, anything else you want to add, Kevin? You're good to go? Ready to roll? All right, anybody here against or any questions, not maybe against, but any questions pertaining to Ms. Bollinger's situation? Anybody here, any questions that have any concerns with Ms. Bollinger's rezone? All right, I'll make a motion we approve.
Close your public hearing.
I knew that. I closed the public hearing. I didn't have one on the last one, that's what threw me off. B, discussion and consideration possible action request by Caitlin Bollinger, conditional use permit manufactured home within the rural area A1 zoning district property within Northwest 4, Section 6, Township 12, North Range 6, West of Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I make a motion we approve. I got a motion? Second? Second, roll call, let's start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Motion carries. Good to go, kiddo. Number 6, to conduct a public hearing considered by Branch Communications for a conditional use permit for a telecommunications facility within the Central Business CBD zoning district on a tract of land block 79 on the original town of Reno, Oklahoma, Canadian County, according to the recorded plat, therefore. I now consider the public hearing open. Dustin, this is a rezone of a cell tower for 5G, is that correct?
That's correct.
This location is back behind what I call Cabins Record Service,
Accurate.
okay? This went before planning commission, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Past planning commission, 100%?
Yep.
No, there were some questions, but they were answered. One concern, based on an old deal, no other concerns to it at that point in time, and there was no protests.
That's correct, and the question that was brought up was about why the process is quite so arduous.
And we're changing it.
And we're working to have something to you guys in the next couple of months.
The bottom line is, I love how Dustin's secretive about things. The bottom line is, Dustin, we're here at a public meeting, let me explain to you before we go, the decoder rings out. Based on the lots we have downtown, the CU, or in the commercial business district, JT, they don't conform because they're so small, they don't conform to it because of that. So some of that we have to change because of road codes, is that right? Dustin, does that make you feel better? Make you feel smarter? It should.
Doesn't make me feel any smarter.
Okay, all right.
Just for clarification, they were not able to co-locate on the existing tower, and
That's
the
correct.
ordinance requires that first.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And that-
There, I have a packet from Troy, who is here in attendance today. I've got a packet this thick that goes through all of the requirements about the co-location and the engineering specifications, why that couldn't work.
Okay. All right, any other questions against the proposal? Anybody else? All right, I now consider the public hearing closed. We'll move on to B, discussion consideration possible action request by Branch Communications for a conditional use permit for a telecommunication facility within the Central Business Center, CBD zoning district on the tract of land block 79, original township of Reno, Oklahoma, Canadian County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat, therefore. I make a motion we approve. Do I got a second by you, Ballhorn? Got a second by Ballhorn, roll call vote, start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Go on to 7. Conduct public hearing, consideration request by Kerry Edwards, a conditional use permit for manufactured home within the rural agriculture A1 zoning district property within the Southwest 4th, Section 11, Township 12, North Range 7, West of Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider the public hearing open. Dustin, this CUP is located on a 2.5 acre tract of land, is that correct?
That's correct?
And this went before the planning commission, is that correct?
That's also correct.
Okay, so the all around A1 zoning, is that correct?
That's also correct.
It's out in the country.
Pretty much.
Yep. All right, anything else, required on this one?
All three of them, the planning commission's recommendations were, skirting and a concrete foundation,
Okay,
either runners or slab.
okay. Okay, any other questions? Any other comments? It passed planning commission 100%? All right, any other concerns?
I have a question.
Yes,
So,
sir.
They're requiring both a concrete foundation and skirting?
It said
Well, yeah.
either a concrete foundation or runners
Okay,
and skirting.
okay, gotcha, sorry.
Either.
All right. Either, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, let's not get into telling people we gotta have foundations. All right, any other questions?
That's it.
I now consider the public hearing closed. We'll move on. Discussion, consideration, and possible action for request by Carrie Evers for conditional use permit for manufacturing home within the rural agriculture A1 zoning district on property within Southwest 4th, Section 11, Township 12, North Range 7, West Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Matt, second by Ballhorn. Roll call, start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Going to 8, discussion, consideration, public hearing, considered by request by Gerald Gamble on behalf of Oklahoma City University to reclassify the zoning district from multifamily residential R3 to light industrial I1 on the southwest tract, approximately 2.59 acres located on South Shepherd within the southeast quarter, South 4th, Section 16, Township 12, North Range 7, West Indian Meridian in Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider public hearing open. Dustin, this was brought before the planning commission. We rezoned this about a couple of years ago, is that right, JT? And the reason why we did that is because there was an option at that point in time with the tax credits to have the housing that was right only across the street from Elizabeth Place at that point in time. Is that right, JT? So basically, we went from agricultural zoning at that point in time to an R3. Now we're gonna go from an R3 down to a L1, light industrial. I'm sorry, I1, sorry, that's what I meant, I1. And basically it fits within the frame of it, JT, doesn't it? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Justin, Jerry had to leave.
That's correct.
But no questions, no protests?
No, there's 2 agenda items on this. The first one, is actually for the very front part of it, that the application was originally from R3 back to I1. The second was originally going to go to I2, but Jerry and the planning commission agreed that it was not it would have been spot zoning and it would not have been in the best interest of the city, so it's all going to I1, but that's why it's on 2 agenda items.
And really, I agree with that, but on the other side of that, it's I2 anyway, back behind it.
Well, the zoning is I1, the uses are basically I2.
There you go, okay. Because it changes it.
That's correct.
All right. So this is the one based on Shepherd.
Yes, this is.
Okay. Any other questions? Now consider public hearing closed. All right, we'll go on to number B, letter B, number 8. Consideration of possible action, approve ordinance number 9206, ordinance requested by Jerry Gamble on behalf of Oklahoma City University to reclassify zoning district from multifamily residential R3 to light industrial I1, subtract approximately 2.59 acres located on South Shepherd within the southeast quarter, southeast 4th, Section 16, Township 12, North Range 7, West of the Indian Meridian. I got a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a second. Roll call. Let's start with Cronister.
Yes.
Yep.
Councilman Ballhorn? Councilman Robinson? Councilman Ryder? Mayor White?
Yes. On to 9. Conduct a public hearing consideration request for Gerald Gamble on behalf of Oklahoma City University to reclassify zoning district from multifamily R3 light industrial I1. Light industrial I1 tracking approximately 14.235 acres located on South Shepherd within the southeast quarter, Section 16, Township 12, North Range 7, West of Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider public hearing open. Basically, Dustin, this is the property back behind there like we just discussed. Same thing, no protest. Planning Commission did this. It's a downgrade of what we're doing.
Exactly.
All right. Now, any other questions on this? Any other comments? I now consider public hearing closed. B, on discussion, consideration, possible action, ordinance number 9207, an ordinance requested by Gerald Gamble on behalf of the City of Oklahoma City University to reclassify zoning district from multifamily R3, light industrial I1, light industrial I1, tract of approximately 14.235 acres located on Shepherd Avenue in the southeast corner, south 4th, section 16, township 12, north range 7, west of Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I got a motion by Robinson, second by Wright.
We need to note that it's not an emergency, it says it on the ordinance, but you need to strike it. And that
Okay.
was on item 8 as well.
And I have a corrected amendment.
Okay. Oh, well, within the ordinance.
Okay.
It'll be taken care of if it's
Okay.
not voted on.
All right, cool.
Okay. I got a motion by Robinson, second by Ryder. Roll call vote start with Cronister.
Yes.
Again. Yep.
Councilman Ballhorn. Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Going to 10, conduct public hearing, consideration request by Chris A. Saladillo. Did I say that right? Saladillo? There you go. I know who you, hey, there's my buddy. All right, for a conditional use permit with manufactured home within the rural agriculture A1 zoning district for property within Northwest 4, section 24, township 12, north range 8, west of Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. Now consider public hearing open. This is on a 6-acre tract, is that correct? A1 zoning on all 4 sides, is that right?
Yes.
Basically same thing. This is a gentleman that lost his house in a tornado. And, he's been through a lot. And, we're doing recovery. This is the first step in recovery. Getting a new house, good for you. Appreciate you. We've been through a lot together. Thank you. You're a good man. All right, any other questions? All right. Move on. I now consider public hearing closed. Go on to B, discussion consideration possible action by Chris A. Sandillo for a conditional use permit manufactured home within the rural agriculture A1 zoning district on property within the Northwest 4, section 24, township 12, north range 8, west of Indian Meridian, in Canadian County.
Motion approved.
I got a motion.
Second.
We got a second by Ryder. Roll call vote starts with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn. Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Okay, you're good to go, my friend. You tell Angel.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
All right. Go on to 11. We have public hearing, consider declaring 1119 Sunset, aka Lakeview Estates, lots 15, 16, lot 16, in violation of section 275, 134 of the Code of Oklahoma, the City of Reno, declaring it a public nuisance of such nature as to constitute grave immediate danger for public health, safety, morals, welfare, directing the city staff to demolish the structure and clear the property quickly, possibly directing the city clerk to pursue recovery costs for such work being done. In the city of El Reno, redirecting the treasurer to place any such revenues, liens collected onto the specific fund for said revenues originally appropriated, further directing and filing notice in the county council office. Give me just a second. All right, I now consider the public hearing open. All right, Mr. Royce, I'll let you go first.
The property before the council is located 1119 Sunset.
Across the street from Sonic.
Correct. It is a 2-story structure on the south side of Sunset. It's also on Highway 66, sits between Moore and Mahan. Sits in a CAR automotive or commercial district. Property was purchased 2015 by the current owner, has never had water service, never been occupied. Since 2017, several homeless people were discovered in the house without water and electricity. While we cleared the house, multiple structure and sanitation issues were discovered, prompting the property to be condemned at that time, and has continued to deteriorate due to neglect since that time. Since 2015, the property has been abated by the city a minimum of 8 times, and there are currently a minimum of 7 liens against the property by the city based on those liens, or on those abatements. Our recommendation at this time is the property be declared a public nuisance and authorize us to remove it.
Thank you, Paul. Okay. That was 4. Now, your side. Come on in. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, members of the council. I'm Joe Griffin. I'm the legal representative of Mr. Slane. We share the council's frustration with this property. Mr. Slane has been paying property taxes on it for a couple years now, and frankly, we haven't had the best of luck with contractors. We had one contractor, and he was set to start on the property, and he went to prison. We had a second contractor, and we paid him, and he took our money, and we never found him again. Fortunately, our luck has turned around. We do have a new contractor. I have TJ here with me. he is ready to start aggressively working on this house. He is a cancer survivor, so he just is finishing up his chemo right now, and he is ready to go back to work on Mr. Slane's properties. We would like for the council to please give us 30 days to do substantial improvements, and TJ here is more than happy to meet with whoever he needs to meet with in the next 48 hours in order to figure out what we need to get done and what is reasonable.
Okay, all right.
And just to add, as far as demolishing the property does have value. Right now, county assessor sets it at roughly about $60,000. Again, that's about $7,000 in property taxes that Mr. Slane is spending every year on this. And actually, if you hold on tight. I've looked on realestate.com and it said it was $108,000, but my Honda Fit from 2008 is also, I think, $9,000 in the Kelly Blue Book.
You're not gonna believe this, I own a lot of property in town, so's that guy down there. Well, a lot of us do up here. And that, you need to look that up again.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right, okay, sit down, let's talk about it. All right, here's the problem. We always wanna help people that have, you know, if people have hardships, everything else, and we wanna get property, we always want property back to where it can be. I don't think anybody up here wants to tear down a house. Hey, we don't wanna cover the cost of it. We have liens already on this property. Our guys are over there all the time. It's on the pathway of 66 Highway. We gotta clean up El Reno. And, you know, I don't know where Mr. Slane lives. Where's he live at?
He lives in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's some of the problem right there. You know, what I call, you know, people that come into our community, buy a house at the sheriff's sale, and have it get great attention, and they don't fix it up. You know, if you're gonna come in here and be a part of our community, come in here and be a part of our community, live in the house, do what you gotta do, whatever else. I'm not mad, but I gotta back, hang on, it's my turn to talk. I gotta back these guys' play up. I gotta keep El Reno clean. I say I being the city, we. I can only speak for myself. And I think it's one of those things that I have a problem giving people another opportunity after we basically messed with this thing time and time again. And our officers have been over there. We have derelicts living in there several times. There's been absolutely no water service over there at all in the whole time frame. You know, I don't mind giving a guy a chance, and it's up to us, but I just think it's a little insane that we're gonna go, you know, try something over and over again and nothing gets done. So.
It's been 4 years, so he's been having trouble finding a contractor for 4 years?
From what I understand.
Actually,
TJ can probably get a little bit more information on that. He handles
he
most of the
purchased a
properties.
few of these properties at one time.
Sir, do you mind identifying yourself?
Oh, I'm Tom Regal. He purchased a few of these properties at the same time, not actually knowing what he was doing when he did this. This was his first time doing this. And in that time, he sold, I believe, 2 of the properties. And yes, we did take the Mahan property from the state it was in when purchased, which was stated as poor, to now what I would consider a pretty damn decent state. It's been a long road. Like I said, we hired a few guys that were pretty fly-by-night and shoddy. We hired a few guys that ended up in prison. I myself was diagnosed, I was diagnosed about 9 months ago with stage 3 cancer. I'm currently in remission. But I was working on this house while going to treatment, while doing what I needed to do. I was working on this house, Mahan, trying to bring it up. I have not been able to get over to this other house because I wanted to finish one house at a time. That was my goal. And my goal is still to attempt to make that house something nice again.
Let me ask this question. If we're gonna consider 30 days, if substantial improvements in 30 days, that's a lot.
I understand that.
I mean, that outside has got to not look like it does. I mean, it's an eyesore.
I understand. We were willing to consider new roof, new siding, and possibly even a new front porch inside that 30-day time frame, just to bring the outside back into a condition that's not deplorable. It is definitely humiliating to us for that property to be like that, but our budget has been so tight, and with help, I've been putting everything. I mean, the neighborhood, if the neighbors were here, they would say, I've been out there almost every day this last week, and nothing but a pair of shorts or a pair of jeans, painting with hand, painting that house. I've almost completely finished that house inside and out. And I've taken it from, like I said, I've got the pictures here of mayhem, from what it was to what it is. Here it is. This cover picture right here is the current state minus the paint.
May he approach?
May I approach? And then your guys' pictures here of the condition and state of the house is the house as it was.
How long did it take you to do this house here from
In my current state, it took me about a year.
this one?
Yes.
In your current state?
That's not the Sunset House.
No, that is the Mayhem. That is the 723 South Mayhem.
Yeah, that's the house, and that's what we're capable of.
That house was purchased at the same time as the Sunset House, and that house.
So that took a year to do though?
Yes.
And when did you purchase the house?
It's on the.
And it took you a year to do it, correct?
Correct.
Background says 2015.
So by 2016, you had that one done,
Yes.
and you bought them both at once?
He bought them both at the same time.
And so for the other 3 years, you did absolutely nothing really?
I
on
wasn't
this?
working at that
Well, I'm
time.
not meaning you indirectly, or directly, but I understand your situation for the last 9 months has been one thing, but that leaves 2 other years that you're saying 2 contractors did something that didn't get it done. We've spent our man hours, the public complaining about it and things of that. How can you in 30 days, in your situation that you are now, honestly sit here and tell us that you can do a roof, the siding, a front porch, mow the yard, clean it up in 30 days, and you haven't had a contractor that can do it in 3 years?
Well, all I can say is there's a different group of people running this situation now.
So you're gonna hire this done,
Yes.
get it done?
Yes, we can hire labor to come do the processes necessary to turn this around, and we're willing to do that.
So let me ask you another question and I'll be done. If you were coming in here to save this house in 30 days, why did you not come with signed contracts with people that you are paying to do that?
Because, quite honestly, I was ill-prepared to come to here today at all.
But this has been going on for years.
I was not made aware of this until we got the letter that said, hey, we're coming to tear your stuff down. I wasn't made aware that it was.
These gentlemen back here send you letters and put letters on there, or not you, but the homeowner, letters every time they put something on the house.
So, yeah, I have a question. So how are you related to the property owner? You're the contractor for the property owner, or how's that work? Or-
I work for him, yes.
He works for Mr. Slane, he's the property manager and also does
Yes,
contract.
I do. I manage all of his rental properties.
And then how did he purchase this? Was this tax sale or something? Or?
Yeah, they were both tax roll sales.
And can I say to the council, eliminating this house, I mean, if its value is somewhere, even if it says 60,000 on the county assessor, let's say it's at 50, EPA costs alone is $15,000 to remove it, and then I believe the plot itself is only worth $5,000 after that, removing the structure. It's worth the investment, it's worth the time, and frankly, if Mr. Slane is willing to go ahead and put the money and manpower in it in 30 days, I mean, I just ask, I think it's worth rolling the dice for 1 more month.
Well, the one thing I understand, I don't mind helping people out, but I have a real rough spot. And I'm looking back at 2 ladies back there sitting in the back. I've been to their store. You know, they chose to live in El Reno. They chose to be here. I just don't like out of town owners coming in here and buying property. I mean, I have to look my renters in the eye And my wife and I own several real properties, we have to take care of our stuff. I know everybody else does too, Bob, JT, you know, I mean, we all have to do that once it's on property. I just think it's one of those things that, you know, I don't mind giving the 30 days, but the problem becomes, when does it end? And now all of a sudden we wanna come in, we wanna work with these guys, and here I gotta defend our people that work for us. And we have to, you know, back their play, and they've been working tirelessly, going over constantly writing tickets, constantly running people out of the deal, constantly not getting response back to the owner, and now it came down to the 0 hour, and we bring an attorney up here, and nothing against you, I understand that, and a contractor, and the owner's still not here. I mean, I just have a little bit of problem with that.
Well-
I think if someone lived in town and wanted to fix the property up, and they were trying to do something hard, and they were gonna have their kids in school, they were gonna work here, they were gonna buy their groceries here, everything else, you know, that, to me, that just gives a little bit more validity of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to clean this community up, and we have all done that in the past by holding these owners to a standard.
Well, and that's it, and the deal is that we've encountered this so many times with different owners, and to violate precedent that's whenever our ordinances lose teeth, you know, and then all of a sudden, we're not gonna have any efficacy, we're not gonna have any power up here to be able to enact these things. And, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I bought a house at tax sale 18 months ago, and I know I'm in violation, I've been cited, and I know if I don't get my butt over there and get it cleaned up, it's gonna get torn down. I'll be sitting here on council, and I'll have to abstain, and it's gonna get torn down.
And I'll tear it down.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been over 4 years. I mean, there's just really not much of an excuse there.
Well,
in my
I
opinion.
don't mind people coming in from out of town
Well-
that have a rent house, if they keep the stuff up,
That's what
4
I'm trying to
years
say.
later.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
I
don't mind people coming in and doing investment, let me rephrase that. But I do have a problem with them coming in, and you're right. I don't have a problem with someone coming in, but I also have a little bit more business. If they're coming in here and they're trying whatever else, you know, they're living here, they're investing here, I think that's something else.
4 years is a little long.
Long time. Okay. Thank you, guys. Any other questions? Any other comments?
In the event the council, you know, because this is a property right situation, is there a chance for a further hearing on this?
Once again, we'll, however the council votes tonight, then you'll have an action, you know, you can file a lawsuit, and that's what those courthouses are made for, and that's what we pay this guy for, and we pay him a lot of money.
I'm envious.
And really, he's not that good, so.
I'm pretty good.
And I will tell you this, the last cases that we've had, and that's the other thing, going back to JT, we have to make a stance on this deal, and we've won those cases, Roger, and I appreciate you, applaud you for your work on that, and all of our work that we've worked hard to, but we've took those challenges and we've taken to court to prove our point to where we have to have teeth. It's not personal against you, gentlemen, we understand.
Oh, no, I understand
know.
that.
I just like saying that, I wanna make sure, because I'm gonna vote against you when we get down here, but I just wanna make sure that that's what we have to do, so. Okay, any other comments?
Out-of-town buyers, I understand.
Gotcha. No, not just out-of-town buyers. You had 4 years, a combination of everything else. Go ahead and get a little snappy with me. No, out-of-town buyers that haven't done anything in 4 years, we've had all these violations. You've owed us basically, how many liens now, Paul? 7? 7 liens, no response. We've had vagrants over there. All the neighbors have to keep their property up.
I understand.
So it's not just one thing. Before we come in here in a high-dollar suit and say that we're, you know, just trying to do everything else, we're trying to clean our community up here, and we live here. So, any other questions or any other comments, we'll close out. Thank you. I now consider the public hearing closed. Now we'll move on to B. Discussion, consideration, possible action declaring 1119 Sunset, aka Lakeview, lots 15, 16, lots 15, 16, block 16 in violation of section 275, 134 of the city codes of Reno, declaring public nuisance of such nature constitute grave immediate danger to the public peace, health, safety, morals, welfare, directing the city staff to demolish the structure and to clear the property as quickly as possible, directing the city clerk to pursue recovery costs of such work if it be done by the city, directing the city treasurer to place any such revenues collected into the specific fund which said revenues are originally appropriated, and further directing filing of the notice of county clerk's office.
Motion approved.
I got a motion? Second. I got a second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes. Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
4 years worth. Yes.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. discussion, consideration, possible action to award project number G03, library renovations, new windows and doors for the city of El Reno, Carnegie Library.
Make a motion to approve per authority.
I have a motion to approve per authority. I got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with,
JT.
Conister, yeah, I was.
Yes.
Yeah, JT. Go for JT.
Yeah.
Yep.
Councilman Ballhorn, Councilman Robinson. Councilman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Move on to 13, discussion, consideration, possible action to award project number 126, T Hanger Complex Construction. Allow chairman and mayor to sign all documents associated thereto. Per authority. Table per authority. Table per authority. I got a motion. Got a second. Roll call, let's start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster.
Abstain.
Mayor White.
Yes. Move on to number 14, discussion, consideration, possible action to award bid for KO7 demolition of 125 North Donald, an attached garage. That goes to, I can't remember exactly who it was. No,
Baker Bucket Works.
yeah, where's it at though?
It's on the
It's
side.
yeah.
It's on the
I got it. Here we go, I got it. Didn't get there. There you go, thank you. I knew I had it. I knew it was Baker Bucket Works. All right, Ross bid, $3,400.
Yes.
I make a motion we approve to Baker Bucket Works for $3,400.
Second.
I got a motion by White, second by Ryder. Roll call vote, start with, Ryder. What are you doing over there?
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Number 15, discussion, consideration, possible action, purchase a new infield groomer to replace existing softball field groomer. I got a motion per authority.
Second.
Got a second, roll call vote, start with Cronster.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. 16, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve a request from the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, ODOT, to amend the National Highway System, NSH, route number 0900004, HX000, I-40 from El Reno city limits, from West US 81 for 4.15 miles. Basically, ODOT has requested that we take out of the National Highway System a portion of 66 Highway. Nothing to do with the loss of the 66 or anything else. Basically, it'll help them allow them to not participate in certain things that they don't want to participate in, as far as signage and some other things. Sign standards, whatever else. And it's basically because it goes through town, it'd be hard to do because of the locations and things like that. ODOT's requested this. So it's a standard deal that they're trying to do to basically clean up the system and clean them up. Now, once again, all we're doing is supporting ODOT in this. It doesn't take effect, they take care of the road, we don't. So it's not like we're out anything, if we're not out anything to say anything as far as funding or anything. I have a hard time with this a little bit because they'll be without funding because 80% of their funding comes from the federal highway system like we talked about today. So they won't be able to have matching funds, but it's something that's in their plan and they're asking us to basically participate and support.
So this is 4.15 miles
Yeah.
from,
It'll still be state highway 66, it'll still be Route 66, it'll still be everything else. It just takes them out of the national highway system.
Just that section.
Just
That
that
corner.
section.
Motion approved.
I got a motion, we approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with, Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Cronster.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Abstain. We'll move on to 17, discussion and possible action. Approve ordinance number 9208, or ordinance amending chapter 135, article 1, and adding code of section 135-20-22D, the same being ordinance of the city of El Reno addressing the tethering of animals, repealing ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and declaring emergency. I was contacted, Norman did a ordinance that basically had dogs where they had chains wrapped around them or cables wrapped around them. And I asked Ken Brown to get with Kurt Dickerson, Mike Townsend, and Roger Reinhardt, and he did, I guess. And we came up with this, we went over it together. And basically, you know, I want to have it where the dogs have to be on a collar. They cannot be chained, they cannot be cabled, they cannot be anything. I was requested that. And so I brought it to you all, that's the way I feel about it, I think it's a good move, I think we need to follow Norman Bree Clark, the mayor. Norman's a good friend of mine. You know, they did this, it's a little bit different than their ordinance, but it covers what we need to cover, basically of having them on chain. Now, saying that, you know, can they be out, can your little dog be out in the yard if you don't have a fence and you have them on a little cable? Well, sure you can. You can have them on the proper cable light, but they have to be tied, attached to a collar at that point in time. The cable itself can't be wrapped around and locked back around. So I brought that to your attention. I think it's something that we need to do. I feel strong about it. And
Is there a fine associated with it?
There is. There is a fine associated with it. It's what is it?
It's found in the general fund.
It was $115.
I wanna say somewhere
$115, I thought, but whatever the general standard would be, like the dog at large or whatever, you know, those standards. Okay. All right. I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I got a motion second by, Cronister. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna say you, all right. Roll call start with Ryder then.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson? Yes. Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes.
Make a motion, we declare emergency.
Thank you, Bob. Got a motion to declare emergency?
Second.
We got a motion second. Roll call vote start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. We'll move on to 18, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding ordinance number 9204, ordinance of the City of Reno amending code, section 8214, same be the ordinance listed participating in the retirement plans, repealing ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and declared emergency. Basically, what this will allow is, we allow our department heads to be on the IC, I'm not gonna say it right.
ICMA.
Yeah, I was gonna say ICMO, ICMA retirement plan. This will allow HR department to do that. Is that right, Mr. Frazier?
Correct. It just updates code that hasn't been updated in a long time to add the HR director.
Because it allows, our code allows for the department heads to do it.
Correct, with the exception of her.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion approved.
I got a motion approved. Second, roll call vote start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder? Yes. Mayor White?
Yes.
Motion for emergency.
Second. We have a motion second, roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes. Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn? Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Number 19, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding ordinance number 9205, an ordinance, the City of El Reno amending the employee retirement system to find contribution plan for treasurer, city clerk, human resource director for the City of El Reno, Oklahoma, providing for retirement for eligible employees, the City of El Reno, Oklahoma, and pertaining to the deficient employee, providing for repeal, severability, and declaring emergency.
Motion approved.
Got a motion, same field, capacity and all that.
Correct.
Second. We got a motion second, roll call vote, start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes.
Declare emergency.
Got a motion, Robinson, second. Roll call vote, start with Cronister.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder? Yes. Mayor White?
Yes. We'll move on to 20, discussion and consideration of possible action to approve a special event alcohol beverage permit for the East Reno Carnival, for the Reno, East Reno, well, that's what it has. It's right there. Yeah, they did. It's Lindsay typo again. El Reno Carnegie Library grand opening to take place in October. So we're gonna have champagne, and we got some special guests coming, and what a beautiful, beautiful sight. Like I said, I gotta say it again, how pretty that library is gonna become, so. And then our next phase after that would be the Northwest Community Center after that. So we're getting these phases done, and we're kinda going right along with these different buildings to bring it back to their glory. Got a motion from Robinson, second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yep.
Mayor White?
Yes. All right, presentation financial report. Marcia, we're doing good?
Yes, in August, our sales tax was up, and then in September, it went down just a little bit. And like my theory always goes, whenever it's up, smoking goes down, and whenever it's down, smoking goes up.
They smoke more, Marcia. They get nervous.
They get nervous.
The smoke tax goes up. Use tax still,
It's just stayed real steady, and there was a nice figure,
Yeah.
600.
okay.
Yeah, I was glad to see use tax went up from last month.
Well, no, it's,
It did in August and then it went back down. in
it's
September,
down.
but we just found.
Use tax down.
He's looking at September.
Yeah, we're looking at these numbers here. So the current use tax, almost as the current use tax went down. So, all right. Reports. JT.
Nothing.
Bob.
Not that I can think of.
Kenny.
No.
Tracy. I can't believe that. Jeremy. I don't have anything.
Motion to enter executive session.
I got a motion, we enter executive session. To consider convening executive session pursuant to Oklahoma State Statute 25, Section 307B, to discuss tort claims, City of El Reno. Received Jacqueline Schuler, 206498 ME, and reconvening an open session of formal action on said claim. Number 23, consider an executive session pursuant to Oklahoma State Statute 25, Section 307B, discuss your tort claim against the City of El Reno. Received for Jacqueline Schuler for 206499 ME, and reconvening an open session for formal action on said claim. Number 24, consider convening an executive session pursuant to Oklahoma State Statute 25, Section 307B1, to discuss performance review and comprehensive compensation, I can't say that, for city manager Jeremy Frazier, and reconvene an open session to take appropriate action. I have a motion, we go into executive session for all three.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion, a second. Roll call, let's start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. I got a motion, we reconvene executive session.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call, let's start with Ryder.
Here? Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 22, the decision on the, the claim of Jacqueline Shooter, 206498-ME.
Make a motion to deny.
I have a motion to deny.
Second.
I have a second. Roll call vote, start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Number 23, consider, also on the case of Jacqueline Shooter, 206499-ME.
Make a motion to deny.
I have a motion to deny.
Second.
I got a motion second. Roll call, let's start with Cronister.
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Number 24, performance and review compensation for City Manager Jeremy Frazier. Make a motion, we take no action. Just don't take any action.
Second.
We can die like a second. And we won't do anything.
Take no action.
All right, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Second by Robert. You can't just vote again. You got to know. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.